Equation for an arithmetic sequence. Let a sub n be the nth term of an arithmetic sequence with the first term, a sub 1, and a common difference d. The nth term is given by that equation. Now, a couple things to look at, and then we're going to look at this a different way, is a sub 1, notice that little 1, is the first term in the pattern. Okay? N is going to be a variable, so we're going to leave that as n. So kind of like x and y, that would be your x. And then d is your common difference. Now, what this thing is used for is this is used for finding any number in the pattern. When we make the table, we have a table and we say this is the first number, this is the second number, this is the third number. Well, what if I want the 100th number? That would take a long time to sit there and keep going until you get to the 100th number. So instead, we can write this formula, which when we substitute in 100, it will tell us, well, which number is that? Now, I like this. It's very nice. But honestly, if we're dealing with arithmetic, didn't we say that arithmetic is linear? And don't we already know the equation of a linear function? So really, what we're dealing with here is y equals mx plus b. And we're going to do both of these, and then you're going to get to choose which one you like the most. Example 4. Write an equation for the nth term of the arithmetic sequence and then find a sub 25. Okay, now the first thing I'm looking at is I'm looking at this, and I'm going to make my table again. So if I have my table of my x's and my y's, this is the first, second, third, fourth. Now we have this formula. It's a sub n equals a sub 1 plus parenthesis n minus 1 times d. A sub n, eventually they're going to ask us to find the 25th term. So right now we just want the equation. This is going to stay a sub n. A sub 1 is the first number in the pattern. Well, the first number in the pattern is 4. There's the 1, there's the 4. So 4 plus n minus 1 is just a variable, n minus 1. Okay, leave it as n. And then d is your common difference. So in order to find that, how do you get from 4 to 5? Add 1. How do you get from 5 to 6? Add 1. How do you get from 6 to 7? Add 1. So your common difference is we're going to multiply by 1. Now, when you're doing this, don't leave it looking like this. We're going to make it pretty. So 4 plus, then we have this times this. We're going to distribute from the back. So you're going to have a sub n equals 4 plus n times 1 is n. Negative 1 times 1 is minus 1. Then we're going to combine like terms. I have a 4 and a negative 1. So we're going to have a sub n equals n plus 4 minus 1, 3. So your equation that will model this table is right there. Now, I'm going to try this a different way. Method 2. Method 2, this is up by 1, up by 1, up by 1, which means I know it's linear. And if it's linear, y equals mx plus b. Remember that m is your slope. Remember that b is your y-intercept. So y equals m, your slope. Your slope is right here. That's your slope. That's your common difference. So 1x plus b. Now b is your y-intercept. And remember, your y-intercept is in your table when the x value is 0. Excuse me. Well, if I need your x value of 0, it's not here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0 would be right here. Well, then what would be right here? If this is plus 1 and I want to go the other way, Well, then I'm going to minus 1, which is going to give me 3. So my y-intercept is 3. So mx plus b, which you don't really need the 1, so y equals x plus 3. And look at this. It's the same thing, except one is using an x and a y, and the other is using an a sub n and an n. I personally do not mind which one you give me. If it's on a test, just know that these variables are kind of representing an x and a y. Now, it says to find a sub 25. So if we go back to over here, a sub 25 equals, substitute 25. 25 plus 3, which is 28. So I know that the 25th number in the pattern is 28. So what that means is, like, if you keep going 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the whole way out to the 25, you're going to get 28. Same thing here. Y equals, substitute 25, and we know that it's 28. Letter C. 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2. So first of all, we need the equation of this. So I'm going to make a table. One, 2, 3, 4. If I want the equation, a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. A sub n is like your y. A sub 1, first number in the pattern, 1, plus n minus 1, n remains a variable. That's essentially your x. D. Well, d is, how do you get from 1 to 0? You subtract 1. 0 to negative 1, subtract 1. Negative 1 to negative 2, subtract 1. So d is negative 1, but keep in mind you're multiplying. So I want to see the parentheses. Put the parentheses. Clean this up. A sub n equals 1 plus negative 1 times n is negative n. Negative 1 times negative 1, positive 1. Then we're going to kind of clean this up a little bit. A sub n equals, you have a minus n, combine like terms, plus 2. Now, if we do that the other way, we're dealing with y equals mx plus b. So y equals, our slope is negative 1. So negative 1x plus b, well, that's your y-intercept. So we have to extend our table to find the y-intercept. So if we're getting smaller this way, we're going to get bigger this way. So 2 plus 2. So really you're looking at y equals negative x plus 2. And then look at that. They're the same thing. Okay, again, I don't care which one you give me. You could give me the one with the a sub n's and the n's, or the y's and the x's, but now they want to know the 25th term. So I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to say a sub 25 equals negative 25 plus 2. Keep in mind, substitution. Negative 25 plus 2 is negative 25, 4, 3, negative 23. So I know the 25th number in this pattern is negative 23. And you would get the same thing if you substituted over here. Letter B. Okay, first write the equation, then tell what the 25th term is. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to make my table. One, 2, 3, 4. Pick your favorite way. Pause the video, try to do this. Then when you're done, turn the video back on, see how you did. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. A sub n remains a variable. A sub 1, first number in the pattern, 8, plus n minus 1 times d, so you're going to need parentheses, d, 8 to 16 add 8. 16 to 24, add 8. 24 to 32, add 8. So we're going to substitute an 8 in there. A sub n equals 8 plus distribute 8n minus 8. Then we're going to combine like terms. So a sub n equals, I'm going to pull that 8n out front, and then 8 minus 8 is 0, so plus 0, which you don't really need. So a sub n equals 8n. If we do it the other way, if you did it the other way, y equals mx plus b. And personally, this one's my favorite because I never remember this formula. But anyways, y equals m, slope. Slope is 8. So 8x plus the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept, you just have to go backwards 1. So if we're adding 8 this way, we're subtracting 8 this way, which gets us 0. So y equals 8x. Okay, same thing, just different variables, but that's okay. X and y versus a sub n and n. Now it wants the 25th term, so I'm going to use this one this time. 8, substituting in 25 to find the 25th term. So 8 times 25 is 200. Okay, which again means if you were to extend this pattern out to number 25, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc., out to 25, the number down here, your y value, would be 200.